Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty. You suck. You suck. You suck.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Ian Bruce.
Patrick K.
It was Gamescom a couple of weeks ago in Cologne, Germany, and normally this is almost like a kind of hangover from E3 where all the stuff that they didn't announce there gets announced, but there wasn't really much in the way of announcements. Sony are doing their own show in a few weeks to announce the PS4 Slim that's been leaked already, and I think Microsoft are doing something similar. But what did have a huge presence there, well, certainly they had a lot to show, was Frontier. They had lots of Elite Dangerous stuff going on here. I'm going to include a link to their Gamescom playlist that they set up on YouTube, but that, just looking down there, gives you kind of a list of all the stuff there. Sorry, go on.
I really enjoyed all of that stuff. I know it was a bit... Some of these presentations at these things can be fucking painful.
Yeah.
But this was... I found them to have good humour, and while sometimes they rehash stuff or do the predictable, yeah, we'll tell you about that coming soon, and then 2 minutes before they end, an hour later, they'll tell you about the thing they were going to tell you about. I found the people that were doing it to be quite endearing and to look like they were enjoying what they were doing.
Yeah.
And not just have picked the short straw for presentations, which it's the painful part of these things. The reveals look good. The Brabham stuff, Braben. Is it Brabham or Braben?
Yeah, he did like an interview in 4 parts, which had all these kind of fuzzy little interrupts with distortion,
hidden message
going on,
stuff that, of course, the eliterati got on immediately and found coordinates of stuff and decoded shit, and then went off to do stuff and, you know, figured stuff out, and that was really cool. I do wonder if some of that stuff is they're actually just making it up for themselves, because the lack of multiplayer missions in Elite is criminal.
Yeah.
But it's if you play Elite, absolutely I recommend the Elite Dangerous subreddit on Reddit. Great community there, lots of background hints and tips. The community goal stuff especially has been great. The stuff that happened this last weekend where they found there was a massive trade thing where people were making 330 million credits for just transferring, I can't remember what it was, gas or something from one planet to another, or for the community goal. All of that stuff, I would never have spotted any of that just through normal internet usage, but the subreddit was all over it, gave you all the details, helps you along, how to get there, all kinds of stuff. And I'm excited for what Elite's going to do. However, the other people were there as well. The people with more money than God. The citizens of the Star. Did you have anything more on Elite?
I just wanted to say quickly that all the stuff that's listed, like the passenger missions, the ship-launched fighters, all that stuff's coming in 2.2 at the end of the year, they're saying, I think. But yeah, I like the whole flying out of a ship stuff, and having your mate still in the original ship helping you while you fly around as escort.
AI will do it as well. You don't need to. It'll fly itself.
Yeah. I got that.
Ship transfers as well. That's going to be fucking useful. So your ship can come to you instead of you having to fly somewhere to sell it. Jesus, that was a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
Passenger missions.
Yeah, they're building more variants of interiors of spaceship stations.
Yep.
And yeah, that was kind of the bulk of it. Oh, they're sorting out hyperspace now, so it's more like No Man's Sky, where you can see the sun coming towards you.
Yeah.
Or something.
I'm not sure we should be saying that game's going to be more like that game. I think that's not going to be good for them, perhaps. unless we have strong views on No Man's Sky. Anyway, let's come to that.
Yeah, we'll get there. Star Citizen. As much as I am one to always play the "it's never coming out" card on this one,
really?
I have to say.
What do you mean? I've not heard you say that.
Yeah, I have to say this was really impressive. Did you see it, Pat?
I flicked through it. Yeah, some of it looks amazing, doesn't it?
It was very long, but I was kind of like, come on, show me this then, this vertical slice you have. If that's the game, then yeah, I'll buy it.
Those space stations just sci-fi porn, aren't they?
Yes.
It's just the scale of it, the fact that you can have your mate in a ship, like helping you out while you're on the ground.
Yeah. So it. I don't want to give all of it away, although it's fairly tropey sci-fi stuff. But he drops a guy off on a planet by lowering the tail of the ship, and he jumps out. He couldn't then jump back in because the ship hadn't landed properly on the planet, so he had to repark it somewhere else so he could jump back in, which was quite funny. It's not finished yet. But the bit that really got me was the bit at the end where they'd gone to a planet and his mate had got off the ship while the ship was kind of just flying around nearby while he was on the ground trying to kill someone. And it got to a point where he was out of ammo or something, and you just saw this fucking ship come down and blast the living cunt out of the other guy. And you thought, holy fucking balls, that actually just happened. And even if it's a vertical slice, I've certainly played enough games to know shit like that will happen as soon as you start putting co-op and multiplayer in anything. That kind of, holy fucking balls, did you see what just happened? Will happen. And it was just, wow, that spacecraft that they've just been in space, flying around a floating dead ship in space, that is now on the planet a few metres away from this guy who's out of ammo, being rushed by this guy, and it's just gone gada 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 and blown this guy away. I'll have a bit of that, please. We probably never will. It's probably a vertical slice. I'm cynical enough to say that, but trying to play Elite where the multiplayer stuff is still to be worked on to a greater degree, I think. It just looked fucking amazing. Excuse my French. It looked excellent.
I just like the appreciation of how the mission was delivered. The fact that they went to a place on a planet, they landed inside, they went through this space station type area, found this guy. It was a voiced NPC delivering spoken dialogue, and then, throughout the mission, you're in communication with this guy, and then at the end, something happens at the end, and it's all that's all really interesting. I feel like with Elite, you have to put quite a lot of yourself into it, or a lot of what's on the internet to help you, and there's not enough. The game's not giving you enough narrative pull to get involved, and I feel like with Star Citizen they're going to be serving up an awful lot, and if they can maintain that granularity throughout, then it sounds great. And I don't think every system's or I don't think it's going to be 80 quadrillion planets or whatever. It will just be a smaller, more manageable amount.
Even if it just had one system and the level of mission was that amazing, that would do me. Yeah. That would absolutely do me.
Just like half of World of Warcraft's worth.
Yep.
Probably.
You could have stations that were getting blown up that you had called home for months and months, and there'd be a massive fight, and the station would now be wrecked, and you'd have to go and live on a planet, and fuck me. That's just one system. I understand the technical glory of producing a game with 18 quadrillion stars and stuff. Procedurally, that's breathtaking, but if the gameplay doesn't live up to it, and perhaps we'll come on to something like this shortly, then it's just...
It's inevitably segueing.
It's a tech demo that provides no substance. And for me, certainly, there are aspects of Elite that feel like that. It is just a space hauler simulator. It's Euro Truck in space, which is not a problem, but it doesn't have that... Yeah. I'm not rushing to play it. I don't want to rush home from work and go, right, I'm going to play Elite.
No.
I want to get some other people involved so I can provide an escort for them while they mine, because that might be exciting if we get attacked. And it's a chance to speak with my mates. So it was... I will retain a hint of optimism that that's actually how it will be. in 75 years when it comes out.
I'm just waiting for like version 1.0, or I know they've already had that, haven't they? But I don't know what point it's going to be like a product that I want. I guess there's just going to be a point where it makes sense to jump on. Because
I don't think
they're never going to review this game. They're never going to give it a score because it's never going to.
Of course
finish.
they will. It's becoming Minecraft, isn't it? Where at some point it will be the biggest thing ever, but actually it's been around for years and people have been playing it for years.
Yeah.
I think jumping on it at the moment is not quite there. If they can get what they showed at Gamescom in the version that they're saying it will be in, that would be a point to get in.
Yeah.
Even if it's just that one mission, I would probably pay the money for that one mission because it did look... No, I wouldn't. That would be stupid. I've already paid the money, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I haven't jumped on yet. I'll wait to see. But yeah, it's one of those games that I feel like it's just going to be delivered as a service. And yeah, as soon as it's of that standard, I'll definitely jump in. But yeah, none of us got No Man's Sky, did we?
No. I thought you did.
No, I was so close to pulling the trigger. I really was, and I just thought, I'm just going to wait for reviews. And then before even the reviews came out, there were people moaning about the performance of it. So I was like, I'm not falling for that one again. Not again. Not after the Batman thing last year. I'm like, no, I'm not having it. And then I just heard like people talking about the game, and I know so many people have bought it, even friends of mine that aren't even like proper gamers. It's really kind of captured the imagination, or
proper
at least the marketing
gamers.
has.
Jesus, master race.
Well, you know what I mean. More casual gamers than me.
And
anyway.
sorry, are they enjoying it, or are they saying it's a bit rubbish, a bit samey?
Well, I've not heard anyone really raving about it. Like they've been saying like, yeah, I'm not really sure how long I'm going to be able to do this for. Like it feels like the best way I've heard it described is it's like the most massive game in the world with the smallest game loop.
Yeah.
Because you're essentially just mining for shit, and yeah, for all the different planets you can go to. The actual like minute-to-minute gameplay is a bit crap, and each planet is just like it's Spore, isn't it? It's like the mix up the planet, stick a different head on this thing. Yeah,
or different head on the same body that you saw a couple of planets back, or stuff. Yeah. I mean, technically, I think there's certainly aspects of it that make me, from a technical point of view, go, "Wow, that's fucking awesome." But it just feels like they've forgotten to attach a game at the moment. They might add stuff in the future. Yeah. There's the enormous list of things that were allegedly promised and weren't delivered. But there is... I think both Total Biscuit and Jim Sterling have both had... They've done critiques of this, which has been very helpful with certainly making some purchase decisions. I would recommend both of them for... information about games before you go and spend your hard-earned cash on them. However, they have also, I think Jim Sterling at least has, one of his critiques of the game brought his website down. He then got a load of personal attacks. He was getting abuse and all kinds of shit from people who wanted it, who had allowed the hype to become their driving force in that particular game.
Yeah.
And we've all done it to some extent. I remember we were all very excited about Elite. I mean, there's certainly been other games where we've gone, it's going to be amazing. And we call it amazing for a couple of hours. A bit like the Phantom Menace. We saw it twice on the day of release, you may remember. Thinking, it's fun. That was amazing. The lightsaber battle at the end. And then, once the immediate, oh wow, has worn off, you've just gone, that fucking kid said yippee when he got in the spacecraft. What an annoying little fucker. So we've all been guilty of succumbing to hype at some point, but this has been the levels of hype. I have not seen anything like it for a long time. Maybe Phantom Menace was the last time I saw it, or one of the Star Wars movies where people are just basically naming their children after things. It's gone insane. People have lost their minds over, I hope it has this, and because I've put that on the internet, that means it will happen. Well, hold on, what? What? I appreciate Hello Games have perhaps made some sales errors in their wording of answers to specific questions. And that's okay, because they're not necessarily salespeople, and I would query they probably want to get some salespeople so they don't make the same mistakes again. There is a hint of the Peter Molyneux's about Sean Murray from Hello Games, and that's not a bad thing.
Definitely.
Molyneux has done some amazing work, but he hasn't always delivered what he said he's going to deliver, and it's a little annoying to work in Guildford where two people who also work in Guildford have a reputation for promising much and delivering not what they're saying.
But the difference here, though, is that Black and White was still a critically acclaimed game.
Yes, but his last one wasn't. Goddess was just shite.
No, he has since fallen from grace,
Yes.
perhaps, but I think there was a lot of that surrounding Black and White when that came out, like similar to No Man's Sky. It's like, oh no, it doesn't have that, it doesn't have this, and same with Fable as well. But all of them games, maybe Fable 3 was kind of.
But they still had
not so
most of the
much,
game attached to them. No Man's Sky,
True.
and I've watched. I'm not going to buy it at the moment. I may buy it in the future. But I've watched a number of gameplay videos, and it looks like a tree puncher with a spaceship and dynamically generated planets, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But a few more biomes in Minecraft, and Minecraft would do.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could really get into it. There was a game I played, I might have talked about on here, called Out There, where it was just a mobile game, and you wake up like lost in space, and you get a ship, and you drive it to a planet, and you choose what minerals you want, and then you have to really scavenge to get the supplies to travel to the next system, and then meet with aliens that you don't understand, that you gradually learn to understand, and that is No Man's Sky. Like, that is what you do in No Man's Sky. But it was all done in a 2D thing. My imagination can fill the rest of that in, though.
Yeah.
And if you give me something like No Man's Sky, where I can go, right, okay, as long as I've got that next little carrot, then I could probably get well into it, I reckon. But I'm not paying 40 quid on a game that I might not like.
And I think there's been a lot of. If it was 20 quid, I probably would have bought it just to give them the money, really, so they can go and do something else.
Like the same as what you pay for like Inside or something like another indie game.
All the tons of indie games in my fucking Steam library that I'm only buying them sometimes just because they're in Unity. So,
right.
I've played probably 10 minutes and gone, oh yeah, that's good. But I would probably have. I have more money than sense. My wife will tell you that. I would probably have done that with this, but it's become this monstrosity of a expectation.
Yeah.
And sadly, it doesn't seem to have delivered, which is a shame because I work probably 100 yards from where these guys are, and there is a sense of community around here, and it's like a good on them. They've done really well. Their offices were flooding, and they got through that, and they've done this. Hurrah! What? They've what? And that's a shame.
I think the problem is that it's an indie game through and through with a pure kind of idea the guy's just not good at talking to the public and getting grilled by all these people with all these expectations.
But I'm not entirely sure that's fair. I think he probably is very good at talking to the public, but the public has taken. He does do it a lot. The public have filled in the gaps and then ambushed him or just said you should have this.
Their expectations,
and that's a thing that everybody does, but it's just happened to a degree of utter madness here that hasn't been realised, and it's frustrating.
To be honest, if Deus Ex hadn't been so close on the horizon, I probably would have bought it, but I just knew that was coming around the corner, and I didn't want to be distracted.
Would you get it on PC or PS4?
What? I don't have a PS4.
Okay, right.
So, yeah, but that may not be the case for long. We'll see how it goes.
I'm also looking at getting one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, skipping ahead a bit here, they've just announced that PlayStation Now is coming to PC. So, that means that all of their streaming stuff, so up to PS3, will be available via an app on the PC, and also a little doobry that you can use so that you can use the PS4 controller with it.
Which is good. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the games list that they had there, and there are a lot of games there. The thing is, I've played nearly all of them.
Yeah, but it looks. I'm not entirely sure that if you can sub for a month, cancel it, and then sub for another month. Is it minimum 12 months or?
It's a 7-day free trial, 1 month for $20, 12 month for $100. I think that works out like, I don't know, 15 quid.
Yeah.
For the 7.
I guess,
for the
it
7
depends
day.
how much you use your
Of 1
PS3
month.
for games, I think.
Well, I mean, I think it's good. Like, if you've not yet played The Last of Us or God of War or any of those awesome things, the majority of the games are things that you see on like Steam sales all the time.
Yes.
So it's like,
but some of them, I think, some of them I could happily play on the couch with a PS3 controller.
yeah, that is a lot. That is a massive list, actually. It's pretty much the entire PS3 catalogue.
Yeah. And if they could just put Until Dawn on there, I wouldn't get a PS4.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the only games I want to play on here, or on Sony exclusives. They're all on PS4 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sadly think this might not be for us.
No,
but
for the people that are just getting the PS4, there are a shitload of good games on there the people who... I kind of see why they're doing it, because Microsoft are doing their cross-platform play thing with Xbox Live, Windows 10-ism shit, whatever it is. But you can't play Xbox games on there isn't that back catalogue that you can play on Windows yet. Maybe there will be.
Yeah, I think Microsoft are doing it better because they're putting their new games on PC as well.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of a play towards that, and you never know. You know, they could open it up and eventually start including older PS4 games, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, if the technology it's not the fact that the PS4 games are more demanding, is it? Because it's all about the latency of the controller input.
Yeah, but this is streaming stuff, right? It's not... You stream the game, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, you could stream it from a PS4 or equivalent instead of a PS3. That's not the bottleneck, is it? The fact that it's a PS4 game.
No, but But the architecture's different. They are different bits of hardware. So streaming a PS3 game, which is, 8-9 years old now, the tech that's making that work, that's probably a bit easier than streaming Until Dawn or Uncharted 4 or any of the new ones that were announced recently in other places.
You're still factoring that in? That still gets factored in, does it? I didn't realise.
Well, it's not streaming from a PS3 or anyway, is it? It's from a
it's cloud.
Massive.
It's whatever that company is that Sony bought. I'm fairly sure they're using... Sony bought one of the streaming game services, didn't they? I'm fairly sure that...
Live, isn't it? On Live?
Sony bought Gaikai,
yeah,
and I think they bought bits of On Live as well. Apparently,
so I'm hopeful they're using that tech for this, because I think with enough money that tech could have been amazing, and hopefully that's what it is. A lot of people have said the PlayStation Now stuff is good. It's good, but I just
it's going to be there eventually, isn't it? It's just one of those things that it's just going to, as latency disappears, it's going to get more and more like a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried Gaikai very briefly. There was a trailer for The Witcher 2, I think, that basically let you just take control of it. And that was really impressive, but that was just with keys.
Yeah.
I don't know how...
I don't know, I mean,
more
Steam Link works really well. I mean, I know that's on a local network and stuff, but don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I've got a PS3. I'm not really going to get the PC stuff, but I think there could be room for... I think it's a good move.
Yeah, it bodes well for the future, definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pat, I didn't get your take on No Man's Sky, because this was a game you were really excited about. And
I'm still really excited about it, to be honest. I'm not really interested in playing it not in VR. That's not something that really appeals to me anymore. And I know it's going to get there eventually, and I think it's a game that might benefit from things like modding as well. Like, I'd love to see what happens with that. But at the moment, people are saying that like they really enjoyed like the first 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like, it's like it's doing the same thing. Well, that's totally fine with me if I can do it in VR. If I can do it properly, then I'm totally fine with it just being 4 hours long. There's a game out that I've been been looking at, and I'm probably going to pick up pretty soon. And it's called Project Solus, and it's a Vive game on Steam, and it's basically you're crash landed on an alien planet, and it's a survival game. You have to scavenge for stuff, and you've got to craft stuff and just survive. And people are saying like, maybe that's like a better way of getting that No Man's Sky experience at the moment, at least, because it's VR and it's it just works. It's already there. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to pick that one up and maybe play No Man's Sky a bit later down the line.
Yeah.
But like I say, I'm still excited to play it. But I think, like anything else, it was, like you say, it was a massive achievement for the sheer scale of the game, and they've achieved that. They've made that universe, and to me, that was the most exciting thing about the game.
Yeah.
Just that feat in itself, and the kind of probabilistic way that they draw this experience and how that draws, and that still exists. People may be underwhelmed by the lack of variety in the algorithms that they've used, and that you feel like you're seeing the same planet time and time again.
Yeah.
But I think I still think I still kind of chalk it up as a win. I think if you want to blame anyone for disappointment surrounding No Man's Sky, blame Sony, because this started off as an indie game made by about 4 people.
Yeah.
And when you saw that first trailer, it blew your balls off, because it was a PC game made by 4 people, and it was a universe simulator. And it wasn't until the marketing engine of Sony got on board and put it in front of a huge audience and started generating a whole new audience for it, that I think the expectations started to skyrocket. And I think that's really all that's happened. Really, people have just painted a little bit too much in between in their brains, and I'm disappointed that it's not there.
Well, they projected what they think, and not actually gone and actually done the research and read about what the game is. Because my expectations were tempered as soon as I started reading things like, what do you actually do in this game? Because nobody knew, because they weren't saying what you would do. And it wasn't even half the systems that are in the game now didn't happen until, like, I think they were patched in after they'd gone gold,
Right.
I think that's what I heard. It was, if it wasn't that, it was not far off.
Yeah, but they're not 4 people anymore. There's, 30 of them or something, but they are still a fucking tiny team. And they have been... I think blame is always a bad thing anyway. Sony are somewhat responsible for the way this game has been built up. The games media itself has not been very helpful by saying, look, this is going to be the next best thing. We said that a few years ago as well, a couple of years ago, whatever it was. But Hello Games haven't really helped themselves by not giving accurate answers or not answering questions. By giving a probably answer, everybody's going to go, well, you said probably, that's not a no. Instead of you said probably, that might be a no, because everybody assigns their expectations to it.
Because it's Sony saying don't answer that.
But he did answer that. Will you be able to? Will there be multiplayer in the game? Yeah, I think so. Well, that's not a. The answer should.
I never had that. I never thought that was the case. I thought there was multiplayer, but due to the scale of the universe being like the scale of an actual universe, like the probability of you actually meeting another player would be like next to zero. That's how I understood it.
Me as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, so many people bought it that they actually were able to prove that that didn't
sorry
work.
for everybody who's bought it, but you are a fucking idiot for thinking that would happen. Steam lists it as a single-player game.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
To those idiots that want it to be multiplayer, they have said that you might be able to bump into someone. People have gone to the same place on the same planet in the same system, and they can't see anyone. So the promise of something and it actually happening have been different things for this. Not for all of it, but for some of it. And they're not actually knowing what the gameplay is. For me, it has a lot of parallels with Elite, where you can get in space and build a ship, and you're the thing, and there. And once you've done that for about 4 hours, normally for me, I go, yeah, I've got
was
a
like that
job.
when, as soon as I
don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'll just
yeah.
Well, like this, I played a VR game like a while ago that was basically like a universe simulator, but it was our solar system.
Yeah.
And you just had this little spaceship, and you could go from outer space, and you could go down into the atmosphere of the planet, and it would, the atmosphere would change, and you were on the planet, and then you could take off again. And that's all I really wanted to do. I just wanted to have someone do that, but with a bit of a budget and a bit flashier graphics.
Yeah.
Like, that's enough. I would literally be happy if the game was just a simple universe sandbox with a spaceship where I could take off and land and stuff, and it was pretty. Like, that is enough for me. That is literally enough for me. And that's really all I wanted the game for. Like, so that's why I'm not really disheartened by it yet. I still think it's probably worth giving it a few months to see what comes out of it.
Maybe they were given you have to, because they delayed it a few months earlier this year, and maybe you have to, maybe they've been given
Put the crafting in.
Maybe there had been pressure from Sony to just get something out now, and they weren't ready for whatever reason. So they got something out. They had tacked on the crafting stuff and the tree punching or the tree lasering, whatever it is. Because to be honest, I'm with Pat. If there was you've got to get this stuff to build parts of your ship, I would be absolutely fine with just going down to a planet, looking at the weird shit. If nobody's been here, I can call it Fat Developer Planet, and you can come in and go to Fat Developer Planet. That would be great.
Yeah.
Because the key thing for me there is, you could say, did you name a planet Fat Developer? And I would go, yeah, you found my planet.
Yes.
So that's not great deep gameplay, but that would be enough for me to just, I've got a couple of hours, I just want to go and have a look at some nice planets. Which, to be honest, that's primarily what I do with Elite, really. Oh, that's a nice planet. I'll just go down to the surface and park next to a bit of like a surface base, and then drive my buggy through a surface base and try and see if I can go over somebody who's landing, or something stupid like that. I feel sorry for Hello Games, because I would love to see what they do next. I hope this doesn't become the thing that sinks them. There's a lot of cool shit involved in what they've done, and it would be good for them to do whatever they do next, and people give them a second chance.
I think they're going to be just fine. I heard quite a few people bought the game.
I believe they probably have more money than God at the moment.
Yeah.
They certainly won't be affected by floods anymore, I would imagine, as they're probably going to buy Guildford and call it Hello Food or something. And that's fine, people have bought their product. That's how it works.
Steam kind of expanded their leniency on the refund for it, though, didn't they? So I don't know how that would affect it. And I wonder if that's a bit of an experiment on Steam's part, to try a more extended refund period on such a high caliber game that had sold so many, just to see how many people would take, because that would be a really good way of testing how the public would use it on by using such a huge title.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're thinking of maybe extending their refund policy, and that's why they did it.
Yeah, I guess they're not going to be letting you return sort of year-old Steam sale purchases anytime soon. But
maybe making it a few days or a week or something.
I don't think it's the amount of time. I think the amount of time is already quite lenient. It's the how long you played it for element, I think, that they might have leaned back on, just on the basis that you're going to have to play No Man's Sky for longer than 2 hours to realise you don't like it. I think that's probably what they were going for.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we've knocked that one on the head enough. There are a couple of other things that happened. There was Quakecon recently. Got to see some actual gameplay of Prey. This is the new game that has very little to do with the first Prey game.
99%.
Yes, I know. Best game ever.
It is a beautiful game.
Yeah, this one, though, is being developed by the guys at the people that Arcane, who do Dishonored. and it looks really, really nice. It's all set on a space station, and I think
Very shiny.
Yep.
Yeah, very shiny.
Glowy.
But the conceit here is that there is an alien threat that can mimic everyday objects. So, like, you walk into a room.
So it's Gary's
and
mod then. Whatever that mod is for Gary's mod, where you can set yourself as a chair and then you have to go and find the chair, which is a fucking amazing game. It's hilarious.
Oh, right. I didn't know that was a thing. But in this, like, yeah, basically, like, there could be a coffee cup on the table and that might go and turn into an alien or something. Yeah, like, they can just spontaneously transform into something. And I think that informs some of the abilities you get. It looks like there's, like, a whole bunch of spacewalking involved, like Dead Space style.
Or original Prey style as well. That had a load of zero-G stuff.
Yeah, that did, actually. But yeah, I thought it looked really promising. It's definitely my kind of game. I like that these games are coming back again, because they seem to have been gone for a while, and now we're getting like Deus Ex, New Dishonored, this. There's some other shit as well that's like systems games, they kind of call them, you know, like where it's all about sort of choices and
System
different
Shock 2,
approaches to
whatever
things.
the new System Shock is.
Yeah, they are doing one of them. They're remaking that. So that's cool. They also had gameplay of Quake Champions, I think.
Yeah, that looks cool.
You think?
It looks exactly the same as the original Quakes, but I just love Quake. It's just better graphics. It's just more shiny.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's some concern about the heroes and the different powers and how it should be. It should be more of a level playing field.
Why should it be? Why should it?
Because
it worked for
it's
Overwatch,
Quake and it's not.
Well,
yeah,
but
it's
that's
not Overwatch, is it?
If they want to move on and do an arena-based thing like Overwatch, why the hell not? The guy who did Unreal Tourney's doing it, isn't he? That's that. He's doing one as well.
It's definitely got that kind of movement around about it, hasn't it? It seems very Quake.
Yeah.
It's like the FOV or something, and the speed of it.
I'm never going to play that. I just can't do Twitch shooters anymore. I'm all over the place. My reaction times have gone.
I can play them kind of like a novelty. They don't hold my interest for very long, to be honest. These days, I enjoyed the new Unreal Tournament, but I think I played it twice.
Yeah.
You know, there's just always something shinier around these days. But you know, they did really well with Doom, so I think they're being we stuck to our guns with that. But
the multiplayer was a bit questionable, wasn't it? Wasn't that not well received?
Doom? Yeah, but that was. I don't even know why they bothered with it. To be honest, that's not what Doom's about, in my opinion.
You never played it on the PlayStation Link, did you? Okay.
No.
I remember playing that for fucking days with Belshi. Christ. We would go to the shop and buy enough, with other people, you'd buy enough cake to get through 12 hours just on sugar, and then you plug the link cable in, set up in somebody's room, and you would do co-op Doom on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation. Oh, good times. No wonder I'm so fat
now. Talking of co-op, there's going to be a new Metal Gear game. This went down really well, didn't it? This Metal Gear Survive thing, because famously Kojima split with Konami, and like there was all this speculation about what would happen to the Metal Gear brand once Kojima had nothing to do with it. So they've made the inspired choice of slapping Metal Gear on a online co-op zombie shooter, which is just like horrible. So yeah, that's all that you can really say about it, really.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And there was also, I don't know where this was, I think this was at Gamescom, but there was some gameplay of Vampire, which is the new game by Don't Nod.
Yeah, that was Gamescom.
And you weren't especially impressed, were you, Ian? Or?
Yeah, I think I probably need to look at it again, but it felt a little bit old school, which isn't necessarily a problem. By Christ, it's dark.
So
yeah,
dark,
it really is dark.
I love how the world works. I'm a little bored of question marks over I've got something for you. I think we should be moving on from that. There's other ways of doing that.
It's definitely it seems like an adventure game though, but there is combat. You know, it's very vampy kind of combat. From what I can make out.
There's like you blink. You're blinking to targets to hit them and stuff, and I really like that. Sadly I resubbed to the Old Republic for a month recently. Played it for 4 hours again, and then realised why I unsubbed last time. But that has the same kind of force jump in where you're away, and you can jump into people, and I really like that kind of getting in close, quick, and doing stuff. But for me, the combat looks unfinished at the moment. It just looks like he's doing a clunk on the head animation, it looks like it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I think this is Square, and I think they're just building hype for it.
It's not Square though, is it?
It's really not. Is it not Square?
I think it's
because they did Life is Strange. They put that out for.
No, it's Don't Nod and Focus.
Oh,
I can't see anything for Square on here. Because Don't Nod did Life is Strange. And I'm fairly sure they did other stuff that was thought of.
They did the one with the rewind mechanic.
Life is Strange.
No, they did another one with a rewind mechanic.
Oh, does that appear to be the thing that they...
They are the rewind mechanic game.
Battle Crew.
No, it was called Remember Me. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they've got chops when it comes to like action. Assuming it's the same people working there.
Yeah.
But I'm interested because they've done some cool, interesting games, and Focus. I think they publish like a lot of the like Sherlock stuff. I think.
Yes. Well, they've got a lovely website. Don't Nod.
It's a cool name for a developer. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's a cool name for anything. Palindrome. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it, apart from me being exceptionally smug about Witcher 3 topping the PC Gamer Top 100. That's just a thing that happened. Yeah, so I was happy about that.
Good.
Deposing Half-Life 2 or whatever was there for years before. I've no idea. I don't know what was there before. They do it every year, though. And it's quite fun. They've actually done a podcast all about it. So.
I don't wish to piss on your excitement, but there's a top 250 movies thing on IMDb. And it's whatever film... Because it's not... For me, it's about...
Shawshank.
That's there, but some of the other ones that are creeping... Force Awakens is number 17 or something. How can you possibly fucking say that is one of the best movies ever made when it's been out for 9 months?
Because you enjoyed it as much as Empire?
But that's not about the movie. That's about the people that are voting on which movies are the most popular. So you've got younger people who watch this shit going, I've seen this great film where it's about a girl who finds a lightsaber and they go whoosh whoosh and it's great. Yeah, but what the fuck? It's so... Oh.
The Godfather is number one at the moment.
Yeah, but if you look down the list, there are movies from the last 5 years intermixed with like proper classic, full-on, this is where all of these current movies got their fucking ideas from. I find these... It's just a slow news week, isn't it? It's just a slow news week, fuck 'em. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
we do it every year, so I can't complain too much, but...
Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad thing because you're looking at it in the context of 12 months.
Yes. But to say
And I find it fun.
Yeah. I mean, if it was the top games from the last few years, Witcher 3 probably good. But there are certainly more impactful games than that one, surely. Even World of Warcraft.
It's just the best RPG in a while. That's what it is.
In a while.
In reality.
You know?
In a while. Yeah, since Skyrim, probably. But it's shitloads better than Skyrim, in my opinion. In my humble opinion.
Just about Skyrim. There's the mod, like a full expansion, unofficial expansion called Enderall. Have you guys seen that? It's like a completely new game set within the Skyrim universe.
Is it
thought you'd be
a fraction as long?
Up, Pat.
I hope it's a fraction as long.
No, I think it's enormous.
Right.
It's a total conversion.
Is it free?
Yeah.
Shit. I tell you what, I am looking forward to playing Skyrim again. I'm gonna get the.
Cheers, mate.
I think everyone gets upgraded to the like remaster.
Yes.
So I'm gonna give that a go when it comes out.
But this looks, I've seen this Let's Plays and trailers and stuff. It looks like a whole new game set in the Skyrim universe with new places and shit. So it's not the Skyrim lands; it's a whole new thing.
Is it good?
There's tons of Let's Plays. Just give it a look and skip forward. And it's got this voice acting, and it's good. It's reasonable. It's the Skyrim engine, and somebody's done a whole thing with it.
Okay.
Looks pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's just what I need. That is a 5,000-hour RPG.
Yeah, well, you can just dip in and out of it. You don't have to do it all in one fucking sitting.
No, I want to play it. I'm not going to just watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. No, it does look really cool, actually.
It's got some very different looking environments, kind of like Caribbean.
Yes.
Sort of.
Yeah, and that's what
There's a palm trees.
Yeah, but
that is cool.
Yeah, give it a look.
That is cool.
And that was out last week or a couple of weeks ago. But big fan of the mod community, so free plug.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, no, it does look very good. This has been the Not Playing podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk, where you can also hear myself and Ian talk about movies and TV on the Not Watching podcast, and Adam, Ash and Will talk about all manner of funny things on the Not Listening podcast. You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk, and if you're listening to us on iTunes, then please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Farewell.
My friend